Afternoon, my dear students. This is Dr. Dua Zamfali. Our lecture today is about software. Let us recall from our previous lecture that the main two components of any computer systems are hardware and software. And we have to know that the hardware by itself cannot work. It needs the software that will operate it. Even if the hardware is very powerful, if the software that is installed on it is not good enough, it may slow down this powerful hardware. So we can say that having a very powerful computer hardware is useless unless we have the good software that can operate this hardware. In this lecture, we will talk about what is software, what are the main categories of software. In this point, and according to our textbook, we will categorize software into two main classes, system software and application software. You may find some different categories in other sources, but here we prefer to have very general and broad categorization. Under each category, we still have subcategories that will be also discussed. And finally, we will go through some important terms that you need to know about software. They are basically about different ways of obtaining and having software. Definition: a computer software is defined as a collection of programs and related data, which means the program and the data it will work with. By programs, we mean the set of instructions that will tell the computer what to do and how to do it. So if, for example, assume that we want to calculate your semester marks and to have your transcript. The program will tell the computer to read your data like your name, your ID, and your group number, then to read the courses that you are studying and your marks in each course. If this data is in a file on the hard disk, then the program will tell the computer to get the file from which part in the hard disk. Then the program will tell the computer how to calculate your GPA, and then it will send an instruction to the printer to print your transcript. So again, the software are all the instructions that guide the computer hardware how to work. The main types of software, we can say that there are different types of software. These types can be categorized according to their usage to two main categories: the system software, which are the set of programs that operate the computer and control the hardware, and the application software, which are the set of programs that are doing different tasks for different users. In system software, there are four main subcategories, which are the operating system, the device drivers, the utility services, and finally the programming languages translators. While in application software, there are two main subcategories: the general purpose applications and the special purpose applications. So let us talk in details about each category and its subcategories. What does it mean? What are its usages? And some examples about it. As you can see, we have numbers for each type to be easy to follow in the next slides. Let us start by the first category, which is system software. The main function of this set of programs is to control and manage the hardware to allow the second category, which is application software, to work. For example, the software that controls the setting of your screen, and the other that manages the printer, and the software that you are using to format your flash memory or any storage device. All of these programs can be categorized under the system software. So to better understand this category, let us explain its four subcategories one by one in the next slides. The first type and the most important one of the system software is the operating system. The operating system is the program that is responsible for initializing and operating the computer. All the other programs depend on the operating system. The most common operating systems are Windows, Mac, and Linux, that are used for regular computers. And there are also Android and iOS, and they are mainly for mobile devices. You can't use any other type of system software or even application software unless you have your operating system first. Knowing more about the operating systems, we can say that there are different types of operating systems, depending on the number of users who can use it at the same time, or depending on the number of processes that the operating system can perform at the same time. So regarding the number of users, we have the single user operating system, which is used by only one user at a time, like your Windows on your PC. It can only be used by one user at a time. You cannot use it you and your friend at the same time. While the multi-user operating system is the one that can be used by more than one user who can access the machine at the same time, probably from a network. Regarding the number of processes, there are some operating systems that can perform only one task at a time. So the other tasks will wait until finishing this task. This type is called single process operating system, while the multi-process operating system can perform more than one task at the same time by scheduling the operations of each task. In other words, starting by an operation from the first task, then moving to another operation from another task, and so on until finishing these tasks. This can also happen when having a computer that has two or more processors. So the operating system will be able to operate and manage them by distributing the tasks among these processors to work at the same time. As we mentioned before, the operating system is the most important software in your computer. This is because it has a lot of crucial or fundamental functions to be performed. Among these functions, the operating system is responsible for booting and starting up your computer, managing the hardware like the CPU and the primary storage devices and the secondary storage devices. It also manages the running programs and its data. And in the case of having multi-process, the operating system manages which part of the different tasks are to be running and which part to wait. It also secures the computer and manages the user who can access the computer by using passwords. Let us move to the second type of the system software, which is the device drivers. When buying a new printer and when attaching it to your computer, the computer must first know the type of the printer before working with it. Few years ago, this was done by a CD that was usually come with the printer from which you can install the definition of the printer to the computer. Nowadays, and in most cases, you can install this definition from the internet. The software in the CD or the one that you will install from the internet in order to define your printer to the computer is called the printer drivers. Drivers are software programs that are used to allow the computer to control and work with peripheral devices. If you remember, we said that peripherals mean any device that can be attached to the computer to work with, like the printer, the scanner, or even the headphones. Without these drivers, the new device will be unknown by the operating system and it won't be able to control it. Each device has its own driver that defines it to the computer and especially to the operating system. Again, without a driver, a new device will not be able to work. Coming to the third type of system software, which is the utility programs or the utility services. Utility programs are the set of programs that provide services to the user, like taking backup of his data, formatting the hard disk or any other storage devices, compressing or decompressing files, the antivirus programs that are used to protect the computer from viruses and to recover if a virus attacks the computer, and the programs that are used to secure the computer against spam. And here by spam, we mean the unwanted messages or unwanted emails that you may receive, like the advertisement. So you can use these utility programs to protect your computer against this type of messages. So the last type in the system software is the computer language translators. This type of programs are used by programmers to translate their programs to a code that can be understood by the computer. Usually programmers write their programs in what we call high-level programming languages. These languages are somehow like English. So the programmer can write print, he can write output, or he can write get data, read data, and so on. The computer cannot understand this type of instruction, so they need to be translated to what we call machine language, the zeros and ones, the only thing a computer can understand. The high-level language is called a source code, while the machine language is called an object code. There are two types of translators, the compiler and the interpreter. They both translate the source code to an object code. The compiler translates the whole program at once, which means that the programmer must finish the program before the compiler can translate it, while the interpreter can translate line by line of the program. Both highlights the error in the code so that the programmer can correct it. The second category of software is the application software. This category includes all the programs that are developed to perform tasks to help the user to do a specific task. These are the type of programs that takes data as an input, manipulate it to get the information as an output. Most of these programs are designed and developed to assist the user in a particular task. For example, the program that is used to calculate and print your transcript. It has been designed specifically for this task. Other application programs are like the Microsoft Word and the Excel, the PowerPoint, the one that I'm using right now to give you the lecture, or a system that is used to control the payroll of the employees, or another one to manage and control the inventory of a manufacturing company. Application software has mainly two types, the general purpose applications and the special purpose application. So let us start by the first type, which is the general purpose one. The general purpose applications are the set of programs that help users to perform some general tasks like writing documents, doing a presentation, searching the internet, managing and organizing data. These programs increase the user productivity as they help him to do these tasks accurately and in a fast manner. General purpose applications are sometimes bundled together or come together in a package like the Microsoft Office that includes Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Access. Let us take some examples from these type like Spreadsheets, Word Processor, data management, and Groupware packages. Spreadsheets are the applications that help the user working with tables by doing simple calculations and equations in these tables, like working in a budget of a company or producing the sales report of a supermarket. Usually, this type of programs allow the user to produce graphs and charts beside the tables to better visualize numbers. Microsoft Excel is one of the most commonly used spreadsheets. Another very well-known general-purpose application software is the Microsoft Word. This program helps users to write documents, modify, and print them. I believe that most of you are using this program and realize its importance to our daily tasks. It helps users to check the spelling and the grammar of his text. It also allows him to include pictures and to draw shapes, and to save and retrieve his documents whenever he needs them. Recall from our lecture about the main components of an information system when we said that databases are one of these components, as they include the data to be processed and the information that will be used by decision makers. A database management system is the software package that is used by the users to organize and manage these data. It allows users to store their data in an organized way to be able to retrieve it and print reports whenever they need it. Some examples of the databases that can be created by a database management system are the student database that includes the data, all the data about the students, a product database that includes the data about the products, and the patient database, and so on. This type of application software is used to allow a group of people to work together even if they are not at the same location. Through this software, they can share documents, conduct virtual meetings, having online lectures or training. The email can be considered to be one of these applications, as you can use it to communicate and share your files with other people. Other examples are Microsoft Teams and Zoom. They are software applications that can be used in video conferences. The second type of application software is the special purpose applications. This type of programs are designed and developed to perform a very specific task for a specific user. They are usually used by specialists, like the AutoCAD, which is an application developed specially for engineers to help them developing their designs. Other examples are the customer relationship management application. This type of programs are helping companies to keep track of their customers and to maintain the relationship between them. And the enterprise resource planning is another type of application that are also used by companies to plan their resources. Now, and after explaining different types of software programs, let us go through some terms that you need to know about software. These terms are mainly about obtaining software, like the software license, open sources, and proprietary software. Software license and copyrights are used to protect the software programs against unauthorized copying. So assume that you invented an idea for a new program and you write the code for this program, and by having a copyrights for this program, you are preventing any other users to copy it and saying that they are invented by them. We will talk today about three main types of license. The first is the freeware. In this type, you are giving the software to use it for free, but you will use it as it is and you cannot modify it. The second type is the shareware. In the shareware, it is also a copyrighted commercial software that is distributed without payment. So you can take it also for free, but you will try it for a certain period of time. After finishing this period, you have to buy the license. The registerware software or the registerware license are some software that requires you to register or to activate it before you can use it fully. This is also a free software that has copyrights, but its source code is available, so you can change and modify it as you want. Last but not least, the proprietary software. This is a non-free software. That means that you have to pay to obtain it, and you cannot modify or change it without the permission of its owner.